Once again, numbers don't tell the whole story. Why? Every market is a good market, at least for someone. And stay tuned to the end of this video as I'm going to be sharing something that's coming real soon that for those that like market stats, you're going to love. We're diving into the Atlanta real estate market stats and we're doing it right now. Let's do it. Jonathan McCoy here, Keller Williams Realty, Chattahoochee North. I'm at Atlanta's Real McCoy, and we're getting into the market stats for the Atlanta metro area. For those that just want something quick and dive out of here, which you're not really supposed to do for me as a YouTube creator because they want you to stay on this channel for a long time, I'm just gonna tell you, real estate market's slow and changing, so if you're here looking for some big number, big change, it's not gonna happen. Doesn't happen that quickly. Real estate market is not like the stock market. We don't have huge jumps and falls. It goes slowly. In my last few videos, I've stated that I think we're gonna start seeing a slight market change, and I think that has continued to happen slowly. I'm gonna share some of that. But just to give you the quick numbers here, we're looking now at a median sales price in the metro Atlanta area for detached homes to be $440,000. So that number just continues to rise and has been doing so for a bit. We're looking at 8 days on market. So homes are going in just over a week. Next number to look at is we're looking at 102.3% of your sales to list price ratio. What that number is basically you have your list price, what the agent and the seller put the price up for when the home comes to the market, then you have your sales price once the home sells. To get the sales to list price ratio, pretty simple math, you just take your sales price, divide it by your list price, times 100%, you get your sales to list price ratio. When you have 100% for this number, it means if you list a home for $500,000, sells for $500,000, you get 100% of your asking price. When it's going over that, that means that if you're trying to sell a home for $500,000, you sell it for $550,000, you're now over 100% of your sales to list price ratio. So what we're looking at Metro Atlanta right now is 102.3%. If you're looking to make offers on these homes and you're just coming in with the list price as your offer, you're likely not going to get that home. Now, a crazy number I came across is 75% of all homes in Metro Atlanta are selling for over 100% of their list price. Once again, you're going to have to make a really competitive offer and likely have to go over in most homes to get the property that you're trying to make an offer on. Now, I shared with you that numbers don't always tell the whole truth, and now let's talk about why I think that's true. If I was to ask you a question, if we looked at the markets last year, so April of 2021, and compared to April of 2022, which one do you think was a hotter market? Which one do you think had more homes on the market? Which one do you think more homes were selling in? Most people probably think in 2021 that there were less homes being sold. That right now is the most competitive time in 2022. Well, is that true? Let's show these numbers here. Now, if you look at it, you'll see that the active number of listings is actually higher in April of 2022 than it is in April of 2021. You're going to see that number of pending and sold listings is actually lower right now in 2022 than it was in 2021. But here's the crazy thing. So you had more people active in buying and selling in 2021 than 22. However, the sales to list price ratio is actually lower in 2021, just over 100%, than it is in 2022. As you see, it is 102.3%. This is where I say that numbers don't always tell the real truth. I'm going to share a story that was just shared with me at a meeting I was just at. The agent was talking about a listing they had. Good listing, put it on the market, didn't have a ton of showings, had about 15. Now, if this was previous years, 15 showings in a weekend would be great, but not recently. But they had about 15 showings. They got one offer from an investor that was a low ball offer. It was actually under the list price of the house. And they only got one other offer. That offer was $30,000 higher than the list price. Now, of course, they accepted that offer that was $30,000 over the list price, and now they're under contract. But here's the interesting thing. We're so concerned about so many people making offers, and we've just sort of accepted that right now you have to offer above the list price to get any home, that one offer that came in wasn't competing against anybody else. Matter of fact, if they would just offered the list price, they would have had their offer accepted and saved $30,000. Now, it's really tough right now. I was in multiple offer situation, and every offer came in above list price. There were 8 offers on the home. It's not every situation that has this, and as a buyer's agent, you really don't know how many offers are coming on a specific home. Here's what I can say I think is going to slowly start to happen. As we start to hear more of these stories of fewer showings, less offers, we're going to start having agents not offer as much on a home to try to get it. But I don't think that's happening yet. So what we see in the numbers here of getting 102.3% of the sales to list price ratio, I think what's happening there is you're not getting as many offers in 2021, but we're so used to having this competitive market that our buyers and the agents that are working with them are just offering way over the list price when a lot of times they don't have to. So you actually have less competition on the market, but you have higher sales price to list price ratio. Once again, this will change, I think, as we start hearing more of these stories about how only 1 offer came in, or maybe 2, but they weren't that much over. So as these stories start to come out, you're gonna start seeing offers come in at or just above list price, and as this market cools down, we're gonna start seeing a slowing down of that number. I think pretty soon we'll see what normally happens, which is less than the list price to sales price ratio on average for people selling their homes. Now, I'm asked one question more than any other question. Have any guesses what that is? That question is, hey, how's the market? Well, someone shared with me a really interesting idea that I never thought about, but it's very true. And the first answer to that, and always is the same answer, the market's good. The market's always good. It just depends on who you are. See, right now, if you ask that question to someone that's listing a home, the market's fantastic. It's really good. Now, I guess the same could be true too, the other way. The market's not so good. If you're a buyer right now, you probably think the market's terrible. You're paying a lot of money, interest rates are going up, but it always depends on your point of view and who you're representing. It's very rare that the market's good for a buyer and a seller. It's usually good for one and not so good for the other, or vice versa. If you're trying to sell and buy a property at the same time in the exact same market, let me share something with you. It really doesn't matter when you buy and sell. Because if it's a good market to list your home, then when you list it, you sell for high, but when you buy, you're more than likely gonna buy for a higher number. If it's not so great of a market to sell a home right now, but buying's really easy, then when you sell your home, you might not get as much as you wanted, but when you buy a home, you're getting it cheaper. For those that are out there trying to buy and sell at the same time, the market really doesn't matter, because on one side you're gonna win more than likely, and the other side you're gonna lose a little bit. Now, it's different for those that are just buying or just selling. That's when looking at the market stats is really important. But for those that are trying to buy and sell at the same time, the market is what it is. Now, for those that stuck with me to the end of the video, I told you I was going to share something that's new and coming soon. And that's this. You can have national stats, which I really don't get into. You have Metro Atlanta stats, which are more focused. But there's something that most people probably want even more than that. And that's something called hyper-local stats. What I'm going to start sharing are stats for specific Metro Atlanta cities. For instance, start sharing stats on Duluth, or Peachtree Corners, Alpharetta. Most people out there don't want just Metro Atlanta stats. They want to know what's happening right there in their city and their neighborhoods. And so that's what I'm going to start sharing on a more regular basis. So if you're looking for a specific area to be talked about, drop a comment below. I'd love to give information about the area that you're most interested in. Also, to make sure that you know when those drop, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you found this video helpful, hit that thumbs up button. Once again, Jonathan McCoy here, Atlanta's Real McCoy, and I'll see you next time.